Stop everything. The snow full moon portal is wide open. 8 signs you must notice today. Listen carefully. Today the snow full moon is amplifying inner signals, and for roughly the next 48 hours, many of us will feel impulses louder than usual. This is not panic. It's an energetic magnifier. Nothing mystical happens to your free will, but the volume on what's already inside you has been turned up. My aim in the next several minutes is simple. Give you 8 clear signs to recognize in your body and your behavior, teach you exactly what to do instead of reacting, and hand you a short, practical 48-hour plan so you use this moment strategically, not reactively. If any of this already resonates, do one small thing right now. Tap like or save this video so you can return to it over the next 2 days. It helps me keep making this kind of guidance, and it gives you a place to come back to when the impulse spikes hit. The snow full moon doesn't dictate events, it amplifies. That means a whisper of doubt can feel like a shout, a small urge to move can feel urgent, a quiet clarity can cut through noise. Think of it as a lens. Everything appears larger. That's useful, if you respond with care. The posture I want you to adopt for the next 48 hours is not hiding, it's strategic stillness. Rest is not avoidance here, it's recalibration. We will walk through 8 signs you may notice, what they feel like in your body and behavior, and one precise thing to do instead. Sign 1, the urge to act immediately. What it feels like. A sudden jolt. Your chest tightens, your hands itch, you notice a shorthand in your breath. A message, an idea, a sale, a post, a relationship nudge appears and feels like a life-defining moment. Everything inside says, move now. How the moon amplifies it. Small nudges become blaring signals. Your nervous system interprets amplification as urgency. Example, you get an impulsive idea for quitting, or you draft an angry message, or you want to buy something because it feels right. What to do instead? Delay the action for 48 hours. Do a 2-minute grounding exercise, feet on the floor, 5 slow breaths. Name 3 immediate physical sensations: temperature, pressure, heartbeat. If the urge is to send a message, save it as a draft. If it's to buy or resign, write a pros and cons paragraph and close the document. Anchor. Delay is not weakness, it's information gathering. Let the impulse pass through the body before you commit your energy. Sign 2. Exhaustion that feels like resistance. What it feels like, everything takes more effort than usual. You can't muster fake enthusiasm. There's heaviness in the limbs. The mind fights small tasks. Your internal dialogue sounds like, I can't do this right now. How the moon amplifies it. The portal draws up residual tiredness and frames it as a moral failing or as resistance you should overcome. Example, you push through a meeting and afterward feel depleted and ashamed because you underperformed, or you jump between tasks but accomplish little. What to do instead? Honor the exhaustion with strategic micro-rests. Schedule short windows, 10 to 20 minutes, where you step away without guilt. Use that time for quiet breath, a short walk outside, or a simple sensory reset. Cold water on your face, grounding with bare feet on the ground. Delay non-essential tasks and mark them for later. Anchor. Rest now protects your capacity later. Saying not now preserves energy for what truly needs you. Sign 3. Panic or restlessness. When silence appears, what it feels like. Silence feels wrong. When there's nothing to do or nothing incoming, your heart accelerates, your thoughts crowd in, and you feel an urge to fill the space with noise, scrolling, talking, doing. How the moon amplifies it. Stillness becomes amplified discomfort. The system interprets quiet as threat. Example, you open your phone the moment a pause arrives, scrolling compulsively to avoid the unease, or you suddenly need to clean the whole house to drown a whisper of fear. What to do instead? Practice presence with a short anchored pause. Sit quietly for 5 minutes and place a hand on your chest. Breathe with the hand for 3 rounds of slow inhales and long exhales. If thoughts come, notice them like passing weather. Don't respond. Name one neutral thing in the room out loud. The lamp, my breath, the chair. Then move back into activity intentionally. Anchor, choosing stillness is not avoidance. It's strengthening your capacity to hold yourself without external distraction. Sign 4. Sudden attraction to shiny, promising opportunities. What it feels like. Something flashy appears and grabs you. An opportunity, an offer, a new person, a headline. Your attention snaps to it like a moth to a light. How the moon amplifies it. Small novelty impulses feel like destiny. Brightness masquerades as intuition. Example: a side hustle email promises overnight success. A social comment tempts you to engage. A new app suggests instant transformation. What to do instead? Apply a clarity filter. Ask 3 quick questions in writing. Who benefits most from this? What will I lose if I move right now? What is the smallest reversible step I can take to test this? If you can't answer quickly, wait 48 hours and reduce the signal by unsubscribing from the pitch or muting the thread until you've had that delay. Anchor. Discernment is a muscle. When novelty sparks, test it with tiny reversible steps instead of leaping. Sign 5. Increased irritability or short temper. What it feels like. You notice you're snappy. Small inconveniences feel disproportionate. Patience thins. Your jaw clenches, your pulse edges up, and you may regret words later. How the moon amplifies it. Minor friction lights up into bigger reactions. Your threshold for annoyance lowers. Example: a co-worker's comment that would normally slide becomes a trigger. Traffic produces anger that lingers for the day. What to do instead? Create micro boundaries. Name the emotion out loud to yourself. I'm irritated right now. And enforce a small pause before speaking. Take 60 seconds to breathe and soften the jaw. If possible, step away for 5 minutes to reset. If you must respond, write a draft, then reread it after a brief break before sending or speaking. Anchor. Small breaks prevent big crashes. A minute of breath is better than an hour of regret. Sign 6. Emotional flatness or numbness. What it feels like. You feel muted, neither up nor down. Your face is calm, but inside there's a blankness. You may feel disconnected from people or your usual pleasures. How the moon amplifies it. Amplification doesn't always mean excitation. Sometimes it heightens integration, and the nervous system chooses stillness. Blankness can be a form of processing. Example: you watch the morning unfold and feel nothing. Music doesn't move you. Social interactions feel distant. What to do instead? Honor the flatness without forcing cheer. Reduce stimulus and protect your schedule. Allow micro-practices that invite presence. A 5-minute body scan, mindful eating of a single bite, sipping warm tea slowly. If something feels too heavy or disorienting, write a short note. I feel flat. I will rest for X hours. Anchor. Flatness is not failure. It can be a silent recalibration. Let it happen without pressure to perform. Sign 7. Habitual overextension. Doing too much to avoid feeling what it feels like. You overbook, agree to extra commitments, or find work at times you usually rest. Busy becomes a protective pattern. Doing fills emotional gaps. How the moon amplifies it. The portal lights up avoidance strategies. You can mistake motion for progress. Example: you say yes to tasks that drain you, volunteer for more than you can carry, or work late into the night to avoid a difficult conversation. What to do instead? Practice selective energy spending. Before committing, ask, does this match my priority list for the week? Will this leave me with less of my best self for what matters? If the answer isn't a clear yes, say no or propose a delayed start. Put a hard stop on work hours and schedule real downtime. Anchor. Selectivity protects your energy. Your no is how you keep your yes meaningful. Sign 8. Unexpected moments of clarity when you stop. What it feels like, quietly, when you finally pause, an insight arrives. Clear, crisp, not dramatic. It may feel like a gentle yes or an uncomplicated no. How the moon amplifies it. The portal often brings clarity as a confirmation when you create quiet space for integration. Example, after stepping away from a conversation you've been overthinking, you realize the actual decision is simple. A morning walk gives you a new, calm perspective on a problem you'd been spiraling about. What to do instead? When clarity lands, validate and record it. Write the exact sentence that came to you. Ask, what small, immediate action will honor this clarity? Take that small, aligned step. No drama, no overhaul. If clarity asks for bigger change, note it and create a gentle plan with stage steps and time buffers. Anchor. Clarity is the portal's gift when you stop chasing noise. Protect it with minimal intentional action. You've now heard all 8 signs. They don't arrive as a checklist in neat order. You may feel several simultaneously, or only one. The key is noticing the pattern and choosing a single, small, corrective response rather than reacting from an amplified place. Here's a simple, practical 48-hour strategy to use starting now. I'll lay it out in plain language so you can do it without drama. First, reduce inputs. Significantly cut back on social feeds, news, and non-essential notifications for the next 2 days. Second, delay decisions that aren't urgent. This includes purchases, announcements, relationship escalations, and major changes. Third, schedule micro rests, short intentional breaks throughout your day. 3 to 5 each, 5 to 20 minutes. Fourth, use the pause tactic for any strong message or impulse. Draft, then wait. Fifth, prioritize one essential task per day and protect time for it. Let other things be softer. Sixth, practice one somatic anchor daily, grounding, body scan, slow walking, to stabilize the nervous system. Finally, document what you notice. Keep a single page where you write impulses, your response, and the outcome. That small habit will teach you which signals were intuition and which were amplified noise. If you're experiencing severe mental health issues, intense panic, persistent suicidal thoughts, or anything clinical, this momentary spiritual practice is not a substitute for professional help. Please reach out to a mental health professional, a trusted clinician, or emergency services in your area. Let me underscore something important. Rest as strategy is not a moral judgment. You are not weak for needing to slow down. You are wise if you use this amplified moment to recalibrate. The goal here is not to become inert, it's to become selective about what you let in. Over time, this discipline pays off. By noticing these signs and responding with small intentional steps, you improve your ability to tell true intuition from amplified interference. Decisions become clearer. Burnout becomes less likely. Your energy becomes easier to steward. The long-term payoff is not instant glory. It's a quieter life with fewer corrections and more alignment. A few concrete micro-practices you can do immediately, right where you are. Turn off non-essential notifications for the next 24 hours. If you feel an urgent impulse, set a calendar reminder 48 hours forward instead of taking action. Put a quick pause note in your drafts folder for any message you feel compelled to send. Schedule 3 10-minute breaks into tomorrow's calendar and label them reset. Use a small notebook to write one-sentence entries about impulses and outcomes. This builds a pattern recognition muscle you'll thank yourself for. You may still feel tempted to treat this as superstition. That's fine. Think of it instead as an invitation to practice attention under intensified conditions. The snow full moon is simply giving you an exercise. Notice, wait, act from clarity. If you do, you'll likely find that what would have been a regrettable decision becomes a gentle, wise one. If this guided check-in helped you feel a little steadier, take one more simple step before you go. Subscribe so you can get more practical lunar and nervous system guidance when these windows open again. If you want a hands-on tool, there's a short guided pause in the description that walks you through the exact 2-minute grounding I described. Use it anytime the impulse volume rises. Trust that a quiet 48 hours taken with intention is not a loss. It's an investment. You don't need to fix yourself in this moment. You only need to listen, delay, and choose small, reversible steps. That is how clarity arrives, how burnout is prevented, and how your deepest guidance becomes the one steering your life. Take a slow breath now. Notice one thing that feels different after hearing these signs. Keep this list close for the next 48 hours. Be gentle with yourself. The portal will close, but the calm you cultivate inside it can stay with you long after. Goodbye for now, and go protect your energy.